What a game, what a finish. Wales have finally broken their painful home losing streak, snatching a dramatic 24-23 victory over Japan right at the death in Cardiff. It was an absolute nail-biter, and for a moment there it looked like the nightmare would continue. But a last-second penalty from Jarrod Evans sealed the deal, sending the Principality Stadium into a frenzy. This win is huge for Wales. It's their first victory on home turf since beating England way back in August 2023, ending a record run of 10 straight home test defeats. More importantly, it gives new head coach Steve Tandy his first win and likely secures a crucial top 12 seeding for the 2027 Rugby World Cup draw. This means they should avoid a nightmare group with two top-tier nations, but let's be honest, it was far from a convincing performance. Wales looked shaky for large parts of the game, and Japan, under the guidance of Eddie Jones, were absolutely brilliant. They played with speed, precision, and flair, and came agonizingly close to pulling off another historic upset, reminiscent of their famous win over South Africa in 2015. The match got off to a flying start for Wales. Just 6 minutes in, fly half Dan Edwards, on his debut, showed a moment of individual brilliance. He sliced through the Japanese defense, beating 3 players inside the 22 to score a fantastic try, which he then converted himself. It was the perfect start, but Japan weren't rattled. They missed a golden opportunity shortly after when number 8 Louis Rees-Zammit spilled the ball just meters from the try line, but it was a sign of things to come. Japan's attack was razor-sharp and they soon found their breakthrough. A beautiful flowing move ended with winger Kipai Ishida diving over in the corner. Fly-half Seungsin Lee, who was simply outstanding all day, nailed the conversion to level the scores at 7-7. The game then descended into a chaotic, card-filled affair. Japan's discipline started to wobble. First, Lokepeneri Oluwiviti was sent to the sin bin for a dangerous challenge on Alex Mon. Just 4 minutes later, Louis Rees-Zammit was also shown a yellow card for a high tackle on Dan Edwards. Suddenly, Japan were down to 13 men. You'd think this would be Wales' chance to take control, but they just couldn't capitalize. The attack looked blunt, and they failed to make their 2-man advantage count on the scoreboard. Then, just before half-time, disaster struck for Wales. Winger Josh Adams was sin-binned for making head contact with Ishida. As the teams went into the sheds tied at 7-7, the big question was whether Adams' card would be upgraded, and it was. The TMO review during halftime confirmed that the challenge warranted a red card. So, Wales came out for the second half knowing they had to play with 14 men for a full 20 minutes, and with their most experienced winger gone, it felt like the same old story was about to unfold. Japan's Seungsin Lee kicked a penalty early in the second half to give his side a 10-7 lead. The pressure was mounting on Wales, and they desperately needed a spark. And who provided it? None other than Louis Rees-Zammit, making his first start since his high-profile stint in American football. Rees Lightning showed everyone what they'd been missing. He gathered a long, flat pass from scrum halves Thomas Williams and blazed over for his 15th Wales try. Edwards added the conversion. And against the odds, Wales were back in front. 14 minutos DS, but Japan, relentless as ever, came roaring back. Another penalty from the boot of the metronomically closed the gap to just 1 point. Then, the man who was yellow-carded earlier for Louis Rees-Zammit made amends in a big way. He powered over from close range for Japan's second try. Lee's conversion was perfect, and suddenly Japan had a 6-point lead, 20-14, with Wales still down to 14 men. The home crowd was silenced. It felt like the game was slipping away. Wales needed an immediate response, and they got one from the bench. The experienced Nick Tompkins had just come on, and within a minute, he found a way to burrow over the line for a crucial try. It was a messy, determined score, but it was exactly what Wales needed. Dan Edwards, under immense pressure, slotted the conversion, and incredibly, Wales were back in the lead by a single point, 21-20. The drama was far from over. Japan remained composed and worked their way back into Welsh territory. Their discipline held, and they earned another penalty. Seungsin Lee, who hadn't missed all day, stepped up and coolly slotted his third penalty of the match. Japan led 23-21. With the clock ticking down, it looked like they had done enough. The final minutes were frantic. Wales threw everything they had at the Japanese defense, but the visitors looked comfortable, controlling possession and winding down the clock. It seemed hopeless. But then, a moment of indiscipline cost Japan dearly. With less than a minute to go, their replacement lock, Harry Hawkins, was shown a yellow card, Japan's third of the game. This gave Wales one last shot. They won the penalty right in front of the posts. The stadium held its breath. The hopes of a nation rested on the shoulders of replacement fly-half Jarrod Evans. The siren had sounded. This was the final kick of the game. Win or lose. Evans stepped up, composed and confident, and struck the ball cleanly through the uprights. The roar from the crowd was deafening. Wales had won, 24-23. It was a victory secured by the slimmest of margins. A classic get-out-of-jail-free card. While it was a huge relief, the performance itself leaves a lot of questions. Wales remains miles off the pace, and they have the monumental task of facing New Zealand and the world champion Springboks in the next 2 weeks. Those will be acid tests, but for now, a win is a win. It ends the losing streak, it gives the new coach a start, and it provides a much-needed morale boost. It was ugly, it was chaotic, but it was a victory. What did you think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. Was it a deserved win for Wales, or did Japan deserve to take it? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more rugby analysis. Thanks for watching.